Well, hello there, Mr. Tom.
Hey, how you doing,
Huh.
Mr. Stiff?
We're doing quite peachy. It's great to see you here, dude.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Good
You
to
know?
make my first appearance on something like this.
Yes,
Um, yeah, I'm excited, man.
getting the first ever, the first face reveal to the Lego community. Because we'll discuss why you decided to take such feat. I think that could be a good topic for tonight's show.
We could
You
have
know?
farmed that more, done a lot of clickbait,
Oh yeah, we can do some more. Why not?
little eyes
But
emojis.
absolutely. But as you guys saw in the intro, this great old streaming podcast, whatever you want to call it, was brought to you by Matt Black Bricks. Tom, you know who Cody is, Stud Lake. Good man, good dude.
Seen them around.
Uh, yeah, and of course it is also, sponsored by Mr. Tom himself, use the code AUSTA for, on the site, you might unlock some certain perks
Hmm.
in a way.
Indeed.
But Mr. Tom, do you think it's time to we kind of go for a little night drive and start welcoming everyone in?
Absolutely.
Because we've already broke numbers for within the first 2 minutes. We have 18 congruent viewers. That's the very
Oh,
first
nice.
time. So I think we can start rolling down the windows here. You know, had to go back to the old school car. We're going back in time because why not? The very first comment of the night is none other than Maul's Vengeance. He says, "Let's go. So excited to watch this heater stream in only 3 more days." Can you believe that, Tom? 3 more.
Until doesn't Brickworld start on Wednesday though? It's like a week.
Yes.
Today?
Yeah, a lot of people are coming in over the weekend or on Monday, Tuesday. Some people like to come in a little bit early and go and see
At the
little
Rennie?
Chicago. Sometimes like we check in at the Rennie on Monday,
Oh my gosh.
so it's a whole week long little extravaganza.
It's a different
Very,
world, man.
it is. It's a whole ball game, dude. It's a way of life. It's no longer just a choice to go. It's like it's your own inner mind just pulling like a Pulp Fiction moment, like you have to go. You know. Then Torso Cracker, he says he's here for it.
That's a painful name.
It just sounds like it would hurt. We got Mr. Shreddy, the Shreddler himself. And we got
Oh, sorry.
Pockets Master. He
Pocket
says,
Master.
we'll catch most of this.
Reply to your DM. I got your DM. I will reply to it, and you'll like the response.
Oh,
Anyway, that's it.
nice. He says he's going to be catching on a replay, but he says it's going to be a good one. I hope we live up to expectations, and I'm sure we shall. And then here's some interception here. Tom just being like chatting inside the chat. This is new. Then Papa Trip, how's it going? We could maybe possibly give you more, maybe at the running. Who knows? Who knows? Time will tell. But Tom's become quite a good friend over what, a year now of like kind of being in decent contact with you.
Yeah, I remember. I remember. Yeah, I remember one of your earliest messages talking about the Orioles.
Mm-hmm. Because you had Orioles game.
You know what it was. It was like right before Brickworld Chicago last year. I remember like you popped on, like you joined the ACOB stream with Sean and M&R Productions was there, and you were like on panel with them.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I know that guy.
That was a good time.
Good message. Yeah,
it was a very good time indeed.
So yeah, a year.
Yeah, that moment for me was unreal. Just be able to sit next to like two giants of the community. That was kind of cool. Then we got Hayes. What's going on, Hayes? He's saying, "Let's go." Neo says, "Ship our orders, dude."
Valid.
I'm kidding.
Have to be.
First, is this still a break though? Because you're still just chatting about orders and basically about how this all works.
Yeah, but I'm calling it a break because I do have things to do. I do have to ship all the LC orders, and we're working on that slowly. I actually have someone in the other room working on packing them for me right now. So getting all hands on deck right now. So, but I am taking a little break. We had talked about this a while ago, so I've been looking forward to this.
Is it confirmed that Tom has minions working for him in the back?
We just confirmed. I have at least a couple minions.
Oh,
it's necessary.
It is. It's a necessary feat to be able to get these customs out to everyone.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we have the best leaker in the game, Get Cooped, saying, "Yo, what's going on?"
So,
And we got Giovanni.
Gio, always good to see you.
Papa Rex.
Howdy.
Oh, he's even saying fellas looking handsome. Well, shucks, a man
Okay.
after our hearts, you know? And Hayes, it's already peak. Whoa, I'm glad that we're able to do that for you. So let me just keep skimming. I'm not ignoring anyone. Just kind of, seeing all the new faces that are popping up in the chat, and then we'll get into it.
See Brick Dynasty in there.
Yep. Quick plug, I will be hopping on his show right after this at 9 o'clock Eastern. So if you guys like me enough, all of you newcomers are like, this Austin guy, he's a bit wacky, but we like it. You can get some more of that after the fact.
These are kind of wacky.
Yeah, you gotta be a little bit wacky in this world.
Yes, sir.
Papa Rex says he's got an hour left at work. Well, I guess we're gonna be giving you some ear juice while you're at work. Stanley Cup time. Go Oilers. See, I was wondering when I put in the description, go O's, how many people were going to think Oilers? But you and I are both Orioles fans. But, Then Hoarder, what's going on? Yeah, next week we're all going to be getting our ACOP sets at the Rennie. Brick Dynasty, what's going on?
Howdy.
Code Watto. I'm Tom Builder for 2 cents off your order. I know we did something. Was it Bald Stiff or Oswald? I can't remember.
Maybe even both. I feel like Bald Stiff was definitely on there.
I think so.
Was it a penny off?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
It was.
I love those.
Then we got Behind the Bricks, an alumni of the Brick Connection.
Oh, good to see you.
Looks like we have about hit everyone here. So, everyone, welcome on in. Thank you for taking that little night drive with us. That was very nice. I'm glad you were able to be in the car for that. At the point of we do this, would it be like a drive-by hello, or would everyone just be kind of getting in like a school bus? I don't know. But
it's up to you, man.
We'll let the comments kind of decide that one, because that's beyond my pay grade. So, first and foremost, as you guys can tell, we have Tom the Builder with us tonight. Quite a big EP. He has broken numbers for us already for social media posts. You single-handedly helped me. The Brick Connection is 109 followers. And then I woke up this morning, it was almost at 140. I'm like, what has happened? And then I woke up and it says, congratulations, your post has hit 150 likes. I'm like, chill out.
Nice.
I'm like, that was quite a tone to the day. But if you guys don't know, Tom is a customs reseller for all of us. Because you guys all know that, some products get made all the way out, China, Germany, wherever it could be around the world. And Tom, you're that distributor for the American market.
Yes, sir.
So thank you for doing that. That's the Lord's work, if you ask me. Especially that you did the Daredevil drop. For me, that was surreal to see that character, because I met the dude, the actor himself, and then you said, "Hey, I'm gonna be dropping this fig," and I immediately, look at
there he
that.
is.
I'm excited to, have him on my brick badge at Brick World. That's exciting. But just thank you for everything you do, Tom. I can't put into words how much you do for this customs community and for all of us, especially here in the North American market.
Yeah,
you allow us to get this opportunity.
Believe me, the pleasure is all mine. It's being in this business has been the time of my life, probably the most professional satisfaction I've ever had, and it's just so great to be able to be a part of this community, have the community's trust, until bring great stuff from great people to more great people. So,
well, you're a very humble man, sir. A very humble man. And you're also quite a stud. So my question...
Dude, my wife is watching this. Watch out.
Well, hey, we're men. We have to compliment each other every now and again, because women don't seem to compliment us all that much, At least in my experience. But we'll answer a question before we go down the little show wing of list I have on my other monitor here. Hayes is wanting to know, Tom, is the wave peak in person? I'm dying to get mine.
Yep. So everything's here. Got a little Horn
look,
depressor free there.
look at that Savage.
But yeah, the wave's been here. You know, I advertised it as ready to ship, so it's ready to ship. I just need to, you know, we're going through them slowly and carefully, make sure everything's right. But it's gonna, but at the same time as quickly as we can, because there's a lot to go through.
Insane.
Yeah. OGO, congrats. Got Savage.
Yep. I don't know how it happened, but I almost got the full wave. I got them all besides the redeemed.
Nice.
I have no idea how that happened.
But even like the alts you were going for too?
Oh, I didn't get the one alt I was wanting, which I'm completely fine with because I was going for the lavender alt.
Oh yeah, that was the most limited. Yeah. It was going to go out instantly. There was nothing you could do. Yeah.
But everything else I wanted, I got, and I was like, "Yo, that's wild." Because it was on the site. It just had like the circle ring, and it didn't even go into the cart. And I'm like, "What's happening?" It says congratulations, or like, you know, order to confirm. I'm like, I'm not complaining here, but buckets. We will actually be answering this question here very soon. You know, it's actually in our little queue list. So stay tuned. We'll make sure that question gets answered.
But what Theo said is right. You know, Light Custom historically, their stuff is just sold out instantly. Mm-hmm. And clearly, like, not enough is being made relative to the demand. This was something has been a priority of theirs. You know, I've said, hey, like, look, people are kind of getting tired of the 1 minute sellouts. So this time they doubled the stock. Pretty much across the board, and so we had 2 minute sellouts, so that was pretty good.
Hey, I'm not complaining. I'm like, it went so much smoother than it has in the past.
Yeah,
like I remember when the Anakin or the Sky Guy, you know, the trolling diplomat, you know, trying to use non-trademark names here, and
but
the young orange
man. This one.
This one.
Or with the boots. What?
Yeah.
What happened there? Uh-oh. Something going on. Wait a second. I'm having lighting issues.
Oh no. Oh, there's light.
Let's sorry, my plug got a little loose by my feet there.
Oh, hey, it happens.
Yeah.
I have a feeling, Tom, you're a very tall individual.
You know, that's the thing. Like over you know, video streaming and stuff, you always think people are taller, but yeah, I'm pretty average height.
Dude, I'm 5'3", so everyone's taller than me. So I'm not complaining, you know. But so Tom, as you know,
I would have guessed you were like 5'10" at least.
I wish if I was 5'10", man, life would be great. You know, I wouldn't have to, you know, have a little step stool to get to the cabinet above the fridge. You know, be a good time. But for the first question of the night, you know how I was like, hey, make sure you have something to drink. What's your beverage of choice this evening?
All right. Oh, sorry. You want me to tell you?
Yeah.
No more guessing? All right.
No more guessing.
So we have here...
Is it an Izzy? Oh.
Little grapefruit sparkling water.
A lot healthier than mine. I have a summer Coca-Cola going.
Nice. Well, what makes a Coca-Cola a summer Coca-Cola?
I don't know. It just feels like the drink of summer, you know? It's just...
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a new flavor they released or something.
I wish. Dude, I don't know. The glass bottle to me screams like summertime. Personally. But buckets, I feel you. I feel you, brother. But so just so you know, we all know who you are, Tom. But could you maybe go into like a little deep dive, like how you got started with Lego, like the very beginning of it?
Very beginning, like beginning of Lego.
Yeah.
Because I've been a Lego fan pretty much as long as I've had memories. I know, like, one of my earliest memories. I know for a fact I was no older than 4. We'd gone back from like our local toy shop, and I had in my hands, I was sitting in my car seat holding. Actually, hold on one sec. Holding this set.
Oh, that's a great one.
The original Droid Escape. I was
Great.
obsessed with the characters, especially. I like the C-3PO. I just thought he was just so cool. I had really no idea what he was. I thought he was like maybe some kind of like tough robot or something.
And then you watched the movie.
But yeah, and then not too long later, I started seeing like these clone troopers on the TV, like the on Cartoon Network. Like sometimes, like during commercial breaks, they'd show like the little shorts, the little mini-sodes, and I was like, "What the heck is that? Those are so cool!" Like they're like the stormtroopers that I've seen before, but they're cooler. Because at that time, I think like Attack of the Clones had already come out. Like there's hype building for Revenge of the Sith. And then Lego came out with the clones, and then from that point on, it was like every Christmas, every birthday, I had to get at least something. You know, clones are the coolest.
I agree.
And Lego's awesome, and so I just kind of kept it up. It's been a kind of consistent hobby. I've liked building things. It's definitely a hobby. I actually even wrote my college essay about Lego and how I liked building things and making my own creations. I was really into making a lot of like replicas, like small scale models of classical architecture.
Yeah, because you posted a few of them.
Oh, you've seen them? Okay, yeah. You scroll way down on my Instagram to the very bottom. I created my account in high school actually. And so I was just kind of sharing pictures of the stuff that I was building, school projects, so stuff for fun. But then, much later in life, I had a little bit of time on my hands. My wife was working longer hours than I was. We didn't have any kids at that point. And so I was thinking like, well, okay, there's got to be some way I can, I really like this. And I just had on my head for a while, like, okay, how can I have my, hobby fund itself? Because this is fun. Everyone knows it's not cheap.
Yeah.
And so I've done a lot of like Facebook Marketplace hunting, a lot of bricklink selling, flipping things on eBay or bricklink. I did a lot of whatnot. Some people, Papa Trip, for example, would remember me from when the main thing I did was whatnot selling. Did a lot of request shows. I did a show where I was basically going through one by one, having one of every clone ever made, starting from the 2002 phase 1 with a cutout visor, all the way to, at that time, the most recent one was the new, I think the new Rex. The new Fox was coming out, new Rex was coming out. So, what's up, Buckets? Shout out, Buckets.
It's funny it's funny you say whatnot, because that's actually the very first time I remember messaging you.
Oh yeah,
because
you messaged me on there.
Yeah, because you stopped selling on whatnot at the time,
right?
And once I say it, it'll I'm sure it'll click. But I was looking because I still want to do the Battle of Umbara. That's my dream thing to build. But I was looking for the last 3 I needed of the Umbara squad, and they were still. I clicked a link somewhere on Google, and it took me to Tom the Builder's whatnot inventory, and it showed them there. Then I messaged you on Discord. I'm like, hey, do you still have these? And you're like, dude, how did you find these? I'm like, oh well, I can't really tell you. It was just through hours of combing, on Google. But I think that was our first interaction. I think.
Did I point you to the GCC server at that point?
You did. Yep. And then I was like, yo, this is huge.
So wait, was I your introduction to the server? Oh my gosh, dude!
You were.
The conversation is very. I mean, I remember doing this. Like at least a couple other people, kind of similar thing. They were like searching up, this GCC figure, and for whatever reason, months after I deactivated the listings, like it was showing up on people's search suggestions, and so they'd message me like, hey, where's this thing? I was like, I haven't had it for months. Cool Cool, man. Well, at least some good came out of that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and now I have the complete set that I'm actually going to be putting on loan to True Squadron at Brickwork. As you guys probably all know, he did his take on Umbara, and it's absolutely beautiful.
Oh, sick. Wait, so he's gonna be featuring the GCC Umbara squad on that.
Yep. It's gonna be cool, and I'm also loaning him it's in my top of like Grail figs, but the Anakin himself, he's gonna be in there too.
Is that LC on that?
Yes, sir. Sweet. That's a funny thing how I got that fig, because it's pure luck helping him out with finding that package.
Oh, right. Yep. Yeah, I remember you telling the story. Back when you worked for the post office, you actually were able to help track it down.
I was working there part-time.
Or something random like that?
Yeah, so it was stuck in some receiving area inside of somewhere in Louisiana. And then, I clocked out for the night, and I gave it to my manager. And I'm like, hey, we're looking for this package. Are you able to, help me track it down? He goes, oh, yeah, when you come in the morning, we can do a handoff on it. And I came into work, whatever, and he goes, hey, by the way, it's underneath a mail truck seat. They found it. I'm like, oh, I'm like, yo. So that was, because at first I was telling him, like, oh, yeah, don't worry, I'll be able to find it, no problem. And then there I was at my computer, like, sweating bullets, so I couldn't find it. I'm like, oh, no. Here's this guy, trust me, it's like all the product, and I can't deliver, but luckily nobody found it. So there's a little bit of Austin lore there.
Nice.
You guys want to know. But this is not about me, this is about Mr. Tom.
Whatnot.
Yeah, whatnot. And then did that, get you like a taste of, reselling? And did that maybe kind of guide you into what you're doing now?
Yeah, it played a part. So, I mean, just the attitude of like, okay, like let's try to do the thing that's going to be best for my time, and things that I'm just interested in too. For a while, like my goal was to get, collect all the clones. So I did that. And then at that time I saw at this point, I should talk about my relationship with customs. The main thing I sell now. For years, I was never really interested in customs. I had bought from Clone Army Customs one time. I thought they were kind of cool, but it was like, do I really want more of this stuff? It kind of, I don't know, it's not really what I'm looking for. And I was also not really informed, like, into that. I thought that for some reason that most customs were made out of knockoff parts. So I really didn't have a clue. But then I saw a YouTube thumbnail that had a Captain Rex in it that was in the newest style. This is before the Microfighter Rex came out, or Venator Rex. And I'm like, what the heck is that? It's the official style. It looks so good. What's going on?
Is it this
one? And then I
one?
came across, Mayday Figs on YouTube. Yeah, that one.
We need them to make
the pauldron with plain blue arms, but still, I was like, oh my gosh, I need that. What is that? And so, basically, I saw a video where Mayday Figs was breaking it down. There was that custom figures now. A lot of them use official parts, use the same printing technology that Lego and other high quality toy manufacturers use, like good high level stuff, and put on designs that are as good or better and fit. And certain brands were moving in the direction of like having it fit modern official style, inspired by that, iterating on it and having it really be harmonious with your current collection. So, I mean, you see figures like this, completely official, and like the look and feel is just identical to all the other great figures in your collection. And And so that was a convincing pitch to me. I bought my first custom figure. I was like, I got that Rex. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I need to get more. I got one that one wave, and I got 4 the next wave, and then I got like 20 the next one.
Mhm.
And then I was like, okay, maybe I'll try showing these off on Whatnot, see if there's some interest. And like, yeah, some people were like, I saw a lot of people like, oh my gosh, this is my first time encountering this. This is really awesome.
Yeah.
And people like me who's like maybe a little wary of the custom scene, stuff. Man, it looks a little maybe not my cup of tea, but this is much more, much more familiar. And then from there, I got in contact with GCC. They had me on as a reseller. They were definitely in a growth stage at that point. And the rest, as they say, was history. I just, from that point, was interested in customs, looking for more stuff for my collection. And a lot of great brands were popping up at that time too, with Light Custom, Crosshair Bricks, BrickDaddy was venturing into pad. Pad printing is the tech printing technology that Lego themselves uses. A lot of these custom brands use. And more recently, Red Mill Custom, OBT Bricks, Rice Customs, Light Custom. I had them already. Yeah. So these are awesome. I want to sell their stuff. And here we are.
Dude, it's just crazy to think, how fast, it all kind of goes in retrospect too. It's like, you've been reselling for a minute, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not like it was like a 10-year, build up. It was what some could say feels almost overnight in a way. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say, but it was quick. It was quick. I'd have a big day of sales, and I was like, oh wow, there's something here. And then that one thing led to another, and here I am. This is what I do full time, and loving every minute of it.
It's good. And Wes, actually, I think you might see my spreadsheet here, because this is actually the next question. He's wondering, what's the top 5 custom figs? Oh, it's for both of us. Man, that's a tough one.
It's a tough one. I know you're number 1. That's it's obviously Simple Man, right? Okay, yeah.
All-time favorite Star Wars character too.
Nice.
That's
I know I posted this at one point. I had my 5 ready. I think they were all clones. But do you have your 5 ready?
Oh, like in my collection, or is like ones that I'm still looking for?
Yeah, he didn't specify. So maybe more generally, top 5 of all of them.
I think
might be a white whale in there for you.
So definitely Simple Man at number 1. Number 2, it's my favorite color. Sand Blue Zam. Need her desperately. But I want the helmet too. I don't want the little aviator cap. Nothing against the aviator cap, but I want the actual helmet too.
Oh, the molded one?
Yeah.
Dude, I wish I could tell you where to go for that, but I have no idea. I don't own a single one of those helmets, not even the plain purple.
Who knows? Maybe one day my art skills will be put to the test with some clay and just stuff like that. Then maybe the Forgotten Legion.
Oh, let's see.
I'm on my goal right now is to army build these.
Oh, dude.
Such a
good luck, sir. Hopefully, makes more, because they were really popular. They had a wave 1 instant sellout, wave 2 instant sellout. There's people like the Sand Red. It is such a unique.
Yeah,
it is a unique figure in that sense.
Then that brings me down to 2.
Yep.
Definitely the LC Obi, the clone armor variant, which I was very happy to finally check off my list with this latest Tom drop.
Oh, nice. I totally had it here. Where'd it go? Oh, here he is. Booyah.
It's perfect. It's a perfect fake, dude. And then my last one would be the Rebels LC Ahsoka.
Okay.
That's one on the dream sheet. I think that one beats out San Blue Zam, honestly.
Oh yeah. Oh my
Yep.
god, dude.
Oh, she's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you consider like the official figure, you know, what's that going? Last I checked, it was like 300.
Yep.
Crazy.
Dude.
That thing was selling for.
If
You know,
that,
this retail for 50.
Yeah.
And you know, very expensive
Mm-hmm.
for a custom figure. But when you compare it to that, it's like, well, you know, that's something I want. Something that's been interesting to me is, you know, coming from selling and interest in the prices of you know, collecting official figures. There's been a huge run up, at least in 2020 and the years following, prices like doubling and much more than that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's been tough for collectors because, you know, you want to get the stuff, you know, and at, you know, prices that aren't going to break the bank, but create a real opportunity for customs because, you know, it's hard to compete. You know, it's, you know, you need to spend so much money just to make a single figure that, you know, to bring prices down to, you know, battle pack prices per fig levels would just be not possible.
Yeah.
But since, you know, everything's working at a much smaller scale, you don't benefit from, you know, any given custom company owning the factory or anything like that. So, but the fact that the aftermarket has gone so crazy means, well, actually now customs price wise, much more competitive with like great collector's pieces that are official. So
you know what? I'm gonna bump that Ahsoka to my number one spot. That's so I'm trying to like on my grail sheet, like to try and unlock.
Okay.
She's up there.
Not above Simple Man.
Oh, Simple Man is forever gonna be the tip of the spear for me. You know.
Shout out True Squadron.
Yeah, he made his first order. Whew.
Getting him a Fordo.
So good.
These are in stock now, I believe.
I believe so. I also ordered one of them as well not long ago, a few days ago. Major plug.
One thing I will say about this fig is let's see what we can do here. Okay, I have here for comparison official red. One thing customs can do is you can actually play with the color palette. Fordo isn't just a standard red; it's kind of more of a
pale bright red.
It's not really. It's kind of getting washed out in my current setup.
It's
like
it's kind
of a little bit purpley.
Yeah, it's a little more pale.
Yeah, and that's by design.
That's so cool that they can go in there and doctor up these colors like that.
Yeah.
That's so cool to me.
Yeah. You can use any color on the palette.
That's great. And Buckets has a great point. One day we can hope.
Cross.
Yeah, at that point, might as well do like the whole, you know, all like the named lieutenant that they're doing. You know, do like a little wave at that point.
True. That would be sweet, especially with the advancements they've made with their replica helmet mold. Yeah, we'll see. I know it's something that people are requesting a lot.
Yeah.
What's the unit called? The 241st?
Yep. Also, a big shout out to all 50 people here. This is definitely this is the biggest numbers we've had.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, Tom's just breaking all the records here.
No, dude, you've been building up for a while. You know, you've been putting in the work.
We're trying. You know.
You know, your 24-hour Simple Man stream is definitely got a lot of eyeballs. Something I enjoyed participating in. So.
Yeah, and you know, thank you for donating a Simple Man to the show.
Shout out Papa Trip for winning it.
Yeah, yep. It was awesome because he was like, you know, him and I are really close. You know, I had to tell him, like, once he told me, like, yeah, we're gonna be throwing a Simple Man in the, you know, the Gibby, and he was like, what? You know, it was like, you know, when I saw it, you know, the wheel spinning and it was like going right there, I'm like, oh, come on, it's right there. It was just like, I'm like, yeah, this is cool. So I'm glad it went to him.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and it was also a big shout out to Melnik for allowing us to use the actual Simple Man marketing images as like
Yeah.
the I don't know, what would it be called, like the image of the stream, I suppose.
Yeah.
The stream icon. So
Yeah.
big shout out to him. So Tom, that leads me to my next question for you. You know, we talked about, you know, how you got started with Lego in general, and then how you got started with, you know, becoming a reseller. But now my question for you is, now that you're kind of you're in deep with it, you know,
Oh yeah.
you're very recognizable. You're definitely, out of everyone that I've bought from that's a reseller, you are definitely the most reliable, the fastest turnaround. Like, you have this big name. Do you ever feel like any sense of self-doubt when you go into a drop? Like, maybe, you know, the numbers that they're giving are a little bit too high. Do you fear, like, man, is this gonna affect like a reputation almost?
Oh yeah, dude. I will say, like, I don't feel the stress of the other side of a drop, but being on my side of the screen, it's very stressful, because I'm thinking like, oh man, like if I got, you know, like one of these figures off by 10, and I need to go and tell like 10 customers, it sells out instantly, and I need to go tell 10 customers, hey, like, you didn't get your fig. That's just is like I can't even fathom that. Like, it'll just be, you know. So I try to be as careful as possible to avoid any situation like that. Yeah, but that's the thing that I'm most nervous about, I'd say, going into a drop.
Yeah.
And then another thing I do think about a lot, I get a ton of feedback about this, is like when drops sell out, you know, so quickly that a lot of people wanted the thing, you know, missed out. I was on the other side of that for a long time. I actually, here is the this is the original V1 ZAM, and I could not. I was just not quick enough at checkout. I you know, did the classic, you know, taking a bathroom break during work, and I missed it, and it was like, that was tough. It was tough, and then I put in another order somewhere else, and then the seller said, "Oh, actually," said, "Oh yeah, you got it," and then you know, and then later it didn't work, so I missed it, and so yeah, I know what that feels like, especially if something is like you're anticipating for a while, really hype was built up. So it's something that, like, as the community grows and as interest grows, and these brands mature, as often as I can, I try to advocate, you know, if something's selling out quick, you know, please, for the sake of the community, make more, because
it's working.
Everyone benefits. You know, we don't need artificial scarcity. That's been like an aspect of the community that happens. If that's all that a brand does is artificial scarcity, is like, oh, 1 of 100. You know, it's not about the merits of the figure at that point. It's about, you know, how rare it is and how, you know, exclusive. And I think people are more interested in having high quality items, you know, widely available, you know, and there's so many products that make great, like, evergreen products, you know, that you could sell any time of the year because it's a popular character, because it's a popular item, that needn't be exclusive. And as soon as it sells out, you know, make some more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think you're doing you know, I want to tip my hat off to you. You're doing a great job, you know, kind of being the conduit for us, you know, to them. You know, you're definitely like the speaker of the house for us. So thank you for doing that. You know,
yeah, dude.
You know, if you weren't in the back room doing that, I don't think I'd have half the fates I have now. Just saying.
Yeah, dude, it's an honor. It's an honor to be at this point. And I read every single message I receive. Every single DM that comes in, I read it because I have to. It's it could be a customer with an issue, but often it's like people are saying like, okay, yeah, when's this going to restock? And I try to be as clear as possible. But anytime someone asks me like, hey, when's this restocking? I get like, okay, there's demand for this. It's definitely something I noticed with like I started moving into into doing more superhero stuff.
Yes.
I.e.
My favorite superhero, personally. He's more of like a. Would you want to show him one more time by chance?
Yeah.
Oh.
Nice side leg printing, real CMF style.
Mm-hmm. And being able to do like the texturing on the helmet like that with all the different dots, that's unreal.
No, it's amazing. I don't know how they do it. I honestly, like, I actually know very little about the production, but it's just, it is extremely impressive.
So
they
cool.
Pump this out. One of their earliest figures. This is Chip Custom is the brand, and very glad to be working with them. And they announced this figure. I was like, I ordered some. I had my, I had to lock down, and through the weeks while I was waiting for the shipment to come and before the release, I'm like, oh man, I'm getting so many messages from new people, asking about this. It's like, I did not order enough. And lo and behold, I did not. So, it's a learning process for me too. It's like, okay, what's demand out? I'm still figuring that out.
When I was so nervous when that was gonna stock, I'm like, go figure. When I'm out in the boondocks of Ohio, out helping, a family member with their farm, like, come on, man. I was like, of course, my favorite Marvel or the hero of all time. That it's such a great fig, and also the fact that they're doing the Punisher and Muse. I'm like,
oh yeah, very excited for that.
That was a peak moment of my entire span of this being in the custom community, Lego community, or when you're like, hey, I know you're a big Daredevil fan. Do you have any name suggestions for this character? I'm like, I do. I'm like, let me cook here for a minute.
That's true. Yeah, the names I picked for those, I think you came up with them. I came up with Vengeful Vigilante, but you said that was good. So
yeah,
I benefited from actually having a little bit of knowledge of that character. The other one I had no clue. So you suggested that name. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Because I know the one you went with was one of the two we talked about. I can't remember what the
you
other
said
one.
Canvas Killer, and the other one was
what was it?
Something
The
exhibitionist.
The Silent Exhibitionist.
Silent Exhibitionist.
That's it. Just because he doesn't really talk much when he's in the suit. So, and he puts his art on display for everyone. Yeah. But Kennedy, you and I have a similar question. With the movie being filmed, am I literally like 10 minutes away from me? Do we know of a David Cornsweet Superman yet?
I don't. I know Light Custom likes making
DC
characters in that universe. So I wouldn't be surprised if they came out with something.
Or even Chip.
Yeah. Different universe, but yeah.
It wouldn't be outside his stomping ground.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too far outside.
I think
superheroes. We'll see.
Who knows, Kennedy? Maybe at Brickworld, when you and I are both wearing a new Superman shirt, so we can campaign outside the running doors for it, with a cardboard sign. That could get some good views. Just saying. But Porter, thank you for stopping by, man. I really appreciate you donating 44 minutes of your time. And, this is going to be on replay and on Spotify as well for people who can't be here live.
Sweet. So, I know that.
Yep. Every episode gets fed right into Spotify as well. So, kind of how I was talking to you about, like, do you ever have this fear and stuff about, the drops? But like I said earlier, Buckets actually had a question that I was going to ask you. before we get right into that, because this one question I have will tie directly in. You know, when you started handling the volume that you move now, and as you know, as you say, there's a Mrs. Tom the Builder.
Yep.
How does she feel about all this? Is she really supportive, or is she like, I still don't understand type thing?
She is my rock. She's always been supportive. She's always been, she is also a Lego fan. So it's been something we've bonded over. But I told her, at different stages, through the different stages, I was, flipping stuff on Facebook Marketplace, doing the whatnot, and then starting the website. For a long time, she thought it was really just something I was doing for fun. And that's how I described it to her. But it wasn't until we really kind of sat down, looked at everything, okay, actually, even though it's weird, it makes more sense that I do this full time. And at that moment, she realized, oh, wow, actually, this is actually, good for our family, helping, pay our bills here. So it's worth the time that I'm putting into it. And for a long time, she just put up with my 3 a.m. packing sessions, because, she knew I was enjoying it, but she didn't think that it was actually something that was benefiting us as much as it was.
It didn't have the longevity it has now, type thing.
Yeah. So she's been, more supportive than I think she needed to be.
That's good.
Because it's if, she would have been within her rights to say hey, look, cut it out. I need you to have more than 4 hours of sleep tomorrow.
Yeah.
If this is something you're just doing for fun. But
I mean, that's kind of a running, with the last episode. I believe you watched with me and Padawan.
Oh no, I haven't gone around to watching that one yet.
Well, hey, why?
This is.
Yeah, that seems like to be the common occurrence between you guys. Is saying make sure you guys have a good significant other, kind of in your corner. That's definitely not opposed to it or
no.
That's nice to hear.
Yeah, definitely, and especially when kids get involved. Into the mix is I need her. So definitely shout out marriage,
Yeah, not enough of that happening these days. But tying into Buckets' question, that's why I kind of elaborate on the family stuff. While we were talking off screen, you had someone pop in to hand you to Daredevil.
Oh yeah.
How so take me, as if we're, I'm shadowing you here. From the moment that you pop up the order confirmation to packing, how does this stage look like to you?
Okay. So we could just use Custom as an example. With a big drop on Sunday, a lot of orders came in. And at that point, every time after a drop, I get flooded with DMs, emails, Instagram on Discord. And so those are all channels where, people come expect me to be reachable on. And people have requests, they're saying, hey, I want to cancel this order. Hey, I want to combo this one, with that one, can you please refund shipping? I've implemented some automations to allow automatic combinations. It'll detect you have an unshipped order.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, a little quiet release of it because I'm still kind of working out some tweaks, but it's mostly working and it works pretty well right now, and it worked well enough for the custom drop. I was very pleased with how that all went.
That's beta testing.
Yeah. That's. But it's officially out. All customers can use it domestically. International, we still got some tweaks to work out, but domestically. Brick Dynasty, yeah. W's for
marriage. Dubs.
Dub marriage. All right. Okay, where was I? Yeah, so I make sure that anytime, because a lot of these requests, they're, time sensitive, but if someone's hey, I want to cancel this order, I need to make sure, I don't ship their order out before I actually read their message. Hey, I wanted to cancel that, I've actually been in that situation as a customer. I said, I placed an order and something went wrong. I'm like, oh shoot, like that's not what I wanted. And I messaged the guy, pretty prominent, and I said, hey man, like, can I have this canceled? Like, something that I made a mistake when placing it. And he didn't get back to me until after he'd printed the label. He's like, yeah, sorry man, it's already printed, it's already packed, it's in the process, there's nothing I can do about it. It's like, I messaged you right after I bought it, why? And so that's actually a common theme in my selling is things that I've experienced as a customer and have given me frustration. And, I make sure that as a seller that I'm getting right, because people do their best, but I've kind of come across like unprofessional interactions, like, not subpar customer service. Is like, what the heck? Like, how are you, supposed to be, serving the customer if this is the best you can do? And so like, that's just been formed how I operate. So first things first, I go through all those messages. Not a single order goes out. And so people, rightfully so is like, yeah, why isn't anything shipped yet? It's been a couple days. It's like, well, yeah, I worked 2 full days and I can't actually ship anything out until I make sure all customer requests are resolved. And all the timely ones. And then at that point, make sure all the orders are combined properly, everything's set up there, so that you get one label for all the orders you combined. And then I print all the labels, I print all the packing slips, go through picking each item, put it in a box, slap the label on, put a big other box, bring that to the post office, and it goes out to customers from there.
I would say my favorite thing about your packaging is on the little slip inside of the envelope. It always says, "Thank you, Tom." Always. And I've even had one at one point where it said, "Thank you, Mrs. Tom DeBiller."
That's true. Yeah.
That I kept one from you and one from her, so it's like I have like their little married couple packing slips here.
That's cute. Perfect.
So,
I think I made sure that your order ended up in her pile, because so she'll write I make sure as I'm going through, I'm like, okay, in case of mistakes, anytime I see, a number next to the quantity, it's not one, I want to write it down in big, colorful marker so I don't miss it. Make sure, someone gets, 5 of the, imperial credit tiles instead of just one. That it's a mistake that's easy to make when you're going through a lot and it's 3 a.m. So make it as easy as possible, foolproof. And so then as I'm doing that, I'll write the thank you notes. And so Mrs. Tom will also write some of the thank you notes.
That's cool.
Like the quantities.
That's really cool. There's like, you're the only person I've ever bought from that actually does that. And every time I see it, I'm like, this is a man that truly appreciates the business,
Oh yeah. Love of the game, man.
It's great. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but once you drop it off from the mailer, it usually just kind of goes through the USPS avenues, and then
Yep. Almost always USPS. Shout out USPS.
Yes.
Best rates in the game. And then, in the unlikely event of issues, we work them out. Customer email me, and then we, they say, oh, this part is defective. You're like, okay, yeah, we'll send you a replacement. Hey, let me know next time you place an order. I'll throw the replacement in, or I could just ship it out. Eat the extra shipping cost. Don't worry about it. You should get the thing that you paid for.
Yeah. You did that for me with my Echo, because I was looking through our Discord messages. Like when I sent you the invite, it popped up there because my helmet, it just kept eating the heads. And no matter what I did, remember we went through like a 5-minute troubleshoot. Like you're like, try wiggle it off. I'm like, brother, I'm trying. Like I have some death grip fingers from jiu-jitsu, and this is not working. And you're like, huh? are you able to, maybe get like tweezers inside the head and push out? Because sometimes that can create like a little pocket of air for it to go through. And I'm like, nope. And you're like, don't worry. Then you sent me like 3 extra Echo helmets in case that issue arose. Like, this is a real one here.
I sent you 3?
Yeah, you sent me 3.
It's a little excessive.
I mean, I'm not complaining, and it's funny, like the 2 of them that you sent have had the head stuck in there. So
yeah, that was a known issue with the early GCC ARC mold. Do I have any of them here? I don't have any out right now, but
mine handy. This fella right here, the infamous fella. This is the exact one.
Jackson.
Let's see. This way. There we go. Good feller. But for everyone in the chat, like don't worry, we will get your questions for Tom. There's a new segment kind of starting here where I'm gonna do like a speed round exhibition where we're just gonna kind of like bullet these questions kind of towards the end here. Because I noticed there's like kind of a gap, with these episodes kind of towards the end. I think this is a nice way to fill it.
Yeah. I love Q&A. So having a Q&A session towards the end, all for it.
And I will say, like, stuff regarding your personal order, just because of like personal information and sensitive item, I'll make sure I pull the comment from the chat and send it straight to Tom. Just because I don't, in case we accidentally slip and say something, I don't want to, dox someone if they don't want to be doxed, what type of thing. I just figured that'd be the best thing. And then there's the next question here from Stickler before we go back to the jotted list here. He's saying, ask Tom, why not have an email notification for a fig when out of stock? So when enough email notification. Oh, that's something I never even thought about.
Yeah, that is a great idea. It's something I've considered. It's just been like a matter of like, getting around to it because there's a lot of other things to do. And there's also a question of expense because features like that are great, but there's kind of adding features to a store like that will cost you some extra amount a month. So it's just kind of like comparing products, which is the best one. It's going to give me the most bang for my buck. Now, but one thing that does work that I can recommend is downloading the shop app and following my store on there. Because if you set it up, it will tell you, give you little notifications. Oh, these items were just added to the shop, and so keep an eye on that. If there's like a figure from a recent wave that's not sold out on my site, but maybe in stock somewhere else. Shout out Life Bricks.
Yeah, big return yesterday. Glad to have you back, buddy. Soon we'll have Tyler on the Brick Connection one day.
But on restocks, so just follow me on shop, and it won't tell you the specific. It won't notify you for the specific. It'll notify you for everything. But that's the best I can offer right now. Eventually, I would like to do this. Yeah, like remind me. This is something that like I feel like even like Lego.com should do. I don't know why they don't do it. I was thinking about, like, was it 2022 when the blister pack with the 3 clones came out, the phase 1s. Last time we saw phase 1 clones. I was like, yeah, man, like this is always sold out. I always wanted it. It's always sold out. Like, how am I supposed to know when it's back in?
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's I can't even imagine being in your seat. I think if I were in your seat, I would not last long. Just because of how stressful I feel like it is. And the way you're saying it is.
Yeah, it's took a lot of practice, learning process, every single drop. There's things like I'm considering now that have come with, there's the complexity that I would not have even like dreamed of worrying about. So yeah, very, very glad to have that the experience, it was gradual. I wasn't thrown into it. I kind of grew with these brands. So I was able to learn a lot along the way. Yeah.
So, you've been doing this for what, about 5 years now? Taking into account the whatnot and some of the flipping stuff.
Yeah. So I opened up my BrickLink account that I I have had since 2016. I enabled it to start selling in 2020.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been shipping orders out since then. So yeah, coming up on 5 years.
So with that said, where would you like to see the future of Tom the Builder's site in like inventory, everything in general,
Yeah.
within the next 5 years? Like, what would be in your mind? What's the dream?
So
like, what's that?
I have some ideas
Mhm.
that I'm, on early thinking about stages that, rather keep to myself for now. Don't want to, put any, ideas like, oh, and then have a lot of people ask me, well, when's that thing coming? I need to think about it more. So I have some ideas there. I can maybe, whisper to you offline BWC, but what I can say is just more of the same. I want to be working with all the brands I'm working with now. I want them to grow and keep making great stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I want to also like offer more because right now I am a bit limited by complexity. How much space I have, how much time I have, how many people I've got doing work for me. So there's certain things that I've considered, like stocking Clone Army Customs accessories. That would be dope, but it's just like I just don't have the time or the space for it. Just offering more. So it's a, like I said, a gradual process, just more and more complex. But and then just offering quicker turnaround in general. It's always like it's a battle I fight with, like growth, but also becoming more efficient. Like it's push and pull. It's as more customers come in, I need to be more efficient. So I be more efficient. So I'm more on top of it. But then more customers are coming in, so so it's
it's a game, that you're once you take a step, you feel like you sometimes take a step back to take another step forward type thing.
And this move is a big thing. I'm in a place now where I'm actually able to get more help. So I'm actually even though for the past month things have been really very slow. There's some orders that have been in the queue since the beginning of May because of the move. I couldn't ship them out yet. They're now going through, so we're catching up. But we're gonna be back on top real soon.
That's good. I'm not kind of like correlating with you, a little bit off topic. We're both Orioles fans.
Some more than others.
Look, I'm quite a diehard.
One of us is wearing the hat.
I think I wear this hat about 300 days out of the year. If I'm being honest, like it's at a point where if I were to take this, I'll take it off. I'll show you. I've been wearing this hat nonstop, like even at work. It's at the point where the seams are ripping the shreds off of it.
Yeah.
The inside has just become like just gross. I have to put it in the washer every week with the rest of the laundry. But since you left, the Orioles have actually been on a somewhat of their first win streak of the year.
Oh wow!
So
wow.
I'm kind of mad at you for leaving Baltimore, because you would send me pictures of you like walking through Camden Yards. I'd be like, darn it, that would make my day. Cleaning toilets or whatever. I'm like, this is great. I would just like sit there, stare at the photo you sent for a good 10-15 minutes, and like whoever I'm with at work's like, hey, put the phone down, we have to clean. I'm like, sorry. I'm just just all the memories just fade back, going there. Because I remember one day you were there. It was the day you're with the Orioles game. I'm like, yo, I'm actually at this game. Where are you at? Because I think you were over kind of in the third base area, I want to say.
Wait, you were at that game?
Yeah. Yeah, I was there with my uncle and my cousin. We were over kind of by the first baseline.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I was preoccupied. You know how it is. But yeah. Yeah, I was up Just hit third baseline.
Mhm.
I was third baseline.
Shoot, man, I know Camden Yards better than my own house.
Yeah, that was a Tom Ossoff near miss.
Yeah,
We're gonna make up for it in Chicago. That's what we're gonna do.
exactly. And, you know, I'll even bring the fig I had in my pocket. Well, as my pocket fig for that game was
Oh, sweet. That's nice.
yeah. I'm like, you know what, the orange and orange, why not?
Yep.
Why not?
Good old bomb squad trooper.
Yep. This is a cool part about hats. I'm one of those people where I will not replace something until it absolutely breaks. Until this little strap on the back gives out, I ain't buying a new hat. You know. But so going forward, you know, we talked about what are your dreams for the next 5 years. Personally, where would you like to see yourself in the next 5 years? Because I think for me, like when I see like when we talk offline, you kind of tell me about like, you know, how you're kind of like you are with family. I'm like, dude, this man just living a dream. But outside of the Lego and everything, who do you want to be in the next 5 years type thing?
Who I want to be? I mean, you know, that's a deep question, man. Yeah, I want to be doing all the same stuff, just better. You know.
That's
yeah.
Like a well-cogged machine.
Yep. I want to be, you know, like a lot of people with good dads. I want to be my dad. You know.
Yeah.
I want to be George Bailey.
Oh yes, we were talking about that last night. Goated movie.
Yeah,
It's a Wonderful Life.
There we go.
I think I might watch that tonight. Before while I lay my sleepy head before the Brick World travels begin tomorrow. So that's actually, you know, kind of going into the next thing. You know, this is your first time coming to Brick World Chicago.
Yes, sir.
And this is kind of why you kind of like hit me with it. You're like, hey, how would you feel about, you know, I show my face on your show so people, you know, who are going to Brick World, they can look for me type thing, know who they're looking for.
Right.
What are the 3 things you're most excited for with Brick World and the 3 things you're most nervous for?
Yeah. 3 excited. I mean, obviously, top of the list is meeting people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with this community, it's all distributed. Everyone's in their own place. A lot of people interact. Oh.
What fumbled?
Uh-oh, my little config fell.
Oh no.
He was sitting right there. Yeah, people all over the place. People mainly interact online. But with Brick World Chicago, a lot of people are going to the same place and will be meeting up. And I've only like 2 people that I've first met in this community. I've met in person. Now it's going to be a lot more people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very much excited for that.
Faces and names.
Yep, exactly. You know, I'm just excited to just see, you know, there's been a lot of, you know, people just hype it up so much like it's, you know, like a big family reunion or something, and a amusement park at the same time. So yeah, you just see what the hype is about. Number 2, and then number 3 would be the mocks. Actually, it's funny how that's not like more front and center, but because that is the main attraction. It's the mocks out on the display floor. Just kind of seeing what that's like. Again, something I've never done before. The closest thing to it is I went to Legoland, but that's, you know, they only have certain things. They have their certain style. This is, you'll see everything in every style. You know, it's made by so many different people. So
that's true. And, you know, what would you say like makes you nervous for?
All right, nervous. The flights. I'm nervous that I'll get, you know, a delay or cancellation or something terrible. I'm nervous about waking up at, you know, catching very early ones because those were the cheapest.
Mm-hmm. Don't forget, we still have to find you on the roof. Remember, we were talking about this one day, you know, when we were like, hey, we're going to treat this like a hangover. We were like, we need someone to volunteer to wake up on the roof. And you're like, we'll put Tom on the roof. You said something of that nature. I'm like, Tom, We'll make sure you have a cooler of water. You know, some saltines too.
I can't afford to do anything crazy. These you know, the flights are too early.
Yeah.
But and then nervous about, I don't know. I mean, I'm generally pretty optimistic about it. You know, people talk it up a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm nervous about, like, you know, missing out. You know, I'm only going to be there a short time. Some people are going to be there the whole week. I'm just going to be there a couple days during the private days.
You're there. You get in Wednesday, right? Or is it Thursday?
Thursday,
Friday.
My
birthday. Man, I get to meet Tom on my birthday. What a nice surprise, man. To meet Tom, the man himself. You know, this is my last official question for you. Then we'll start going into the questions the chat has submitted.
Yes, sir. Your
icon is very iconic. What was it? How did that come about? You know.
Well, yeah. So I had a profile picture that was just like a Lego version of me. You know, had the hair and the stubble and the shirt, and rather generic. And so I was thinking, like, that was the one I had in high school. And I'm like, this is pretty generic. I want to do something that's a little bit more fun. And so, without actually needing to think too much, I came up with, like, the workout clone from one of the video games.
Yeah.
You know, the cutscene where they're all, like, doing the pull-ups and you know, the jumping jacks and you know, lifting the weights, and you know, Barris and Ahsoka are checking them out and giggling. And then there's one guy in the back who's just, like, leaning on an ice cream truck. There's an ice cream truck. You know, there's a little line of workout clones, and there's one guy who's just chilling there, leaning, you know,
with a popsicle,
licking a popsicle. It's like, okay, that's going to be my guy.
That's great.
Yeah. So yeah, this is just like something random. Yeah.
And it's stuck.
You know, it's like, well, I don't really have a reason to rebrand. It's fun. I like it.
It's a great one.
Let me try to find it. I gotta, you know, let's see.
He's fallen.
He fell. I gotta recover. Here he is.
He has a life alert, right?
Huh?
He has his life alert on?
Yep.
Oh,
so there he is. There's a workout clone.
Just chiseled like a Greek.
Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I said in the post, you know, people are going to be disappointed when they meet me to find out that I'm not, in fact, you know, a 2-inch tall, jacked clone trooper with a popsicle.
Yep. I mean, personally, I'm going to be honest with you here. I'm like, man, Tom just, you know, use Tom this going forward. I'm like, I think you're better than the jacked clone trooper, dude.
No shot.
No shot. Is that cap or not
cap?
Cap, as the kids be saying.
How do you beat this man?
With his daddy. That's wink wink. You know, I'm a big Django guy.
Yes, sir.
Know?
Yes, sir. The
OG
clone.
You know, Ostif Distribution will proudly bring you a popsicle.
Nice.
Is there a certain flavor you like or brand?
It's got to be a pink one to match the profile picture.
I think we can.
You know, pink or red or something.
I'll make sure I find you. We'll make sure. We'll get that iconic photo, and someone there's gonna have a clone helmet, so we might be able to recreate.
Well, I'm keeping my shirt on.
Yes, this is good. You know, we can get you like 75% of the way there. I'm sure we can arrange this. It'd be like a nice side quest to the main quest line.
Nice.
So
it's gonna be fun. Looking forward to it.
So this question is coming from Giovanni. He's asking you, Tom, what made you become the main LC reseller? Did LC ask you after C David left, or was it something that you volunteered for?
I think it was a lot of things. You know, because LC was in the process of looking for a new distributor. A lot of brands, they will sell the stuff themselves. and have resellers like GCC. That's
Yeah.
the operation they have. LC, they don't do any direct to consumer. They just move all their product through distributors. And so as they were looking for a new one, really people in the community, this is why I'm so grateful to the community, put out a good word, said, hey, like Tom's doing good stuff,
Yeah.
have him be your new distributor. We'd really like that. So it's like, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is such an honor.
Yeah,
it's an honor of my life that people would do that for me, like completely unprompted.
Do it for you again.
Yeah. So that's a little bit of that story. So yeah.
It was funny because when I was telling you a story about all that, he kind of asked me, he goes, hey, do you know of anyone that would like be really good to sell product in your area? I'm like, definitely Tom. Because I think the exact match, I said Tom the Builder because he's a fellow Orioles fan. And then I don't think
who asked this?
It was Light Customs.
My gosh,
when I was doing
one of the people.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, dude, sign Tom up. Like we're drafting him into this.
Oh my god.
It's just, we got Stickler's question. I started.
Thank you, man. You and everyone else who put in a good word. It's like, yeah, thanks so much.
And I'm sure I can speak for all of us. We would do it again tenfold if we had to. And going into future, you got all of our support too. Just because it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. You're not only like the best reseller in the game, but you're a very upright, very good individual. And someone I've been able to be very fortunate to be able to call like one of my friends in this space. We've only known each other for about like a year, maybe not even at this point. You're just a good man. You're very much what you say is what you do. If you say you're going to do it, you strike that match. You'll get to it. And if you have to fight tooth and nail, you're that kind of man. And that's something I think a lot of us, I'd say all 49 of us here, we can vouch for. So just thank you for being that person for us, Tom.
Yeah, you're too kind, man. Too kind.
Coop says hit that like button, but hit it for Tom. It's something I'm going to be experimenting with Friday. We're going to be having a returning guest on the Brick Connection. He's an alumni, so I think it's something I want to kind of start doing. I want to start, these being like this first episode being like the more informal type thing, then the next one kind of being like just conversing. I think that'd be a nice little standpoint. And I say that because we have an alumni in the building, Nate from Nate Builds. He's asking us what's up or what's good. Just chat with Tom. It's pretty great. And the next question comes from Giovanni. He says, Tom, you can refund combined shipping and store credit right even for previous orders.
Yeah. Just let me know.
That's
DMs.
The DMs. Just slide into Tom's DMs. Not sure if Mrs. Tom the Builder approves of me saying that. So he flagged us right after this comment. He was like, not a question, but want to tell Tom. Gage says, yeah, I accidentally made an order just before the LCD drop, and Tom was able to get me a refund to help combine multiple orders in a short amount of time. Very professional.
Yep. I think I even remember this order because it was like one of the last ones I was going through my emails. It was one of the last emails to go through because I was going from the most recent first. I was one of the first emails. And so it was like, yeah, this is exactly why I need to go through all the messages, the hundreds, like seriously, it's a lot. Yeah, so that's why I do it, so that I can, make sure people, get the best service that they deserve.
Yeah. That's just hearing you like those words come out of your mouth is so refreshing too, because I feel like there's so many people inside the Lego space, whether it's through their direct site or a custom creator themselves that say a lot of these things, but like I said, you follow it up, you definitely have that action to it, and kind of falling into that. Another, not a question, but something he really wanted to tell you. Mr. Matt here. He says, Tom, this isn't a question, but I just want to say you're a great reseller, and I wouldn't choose any other custom reseller. I'll see you in the Rise custom restock in July and right at your website.
Yep. Got
Sleepy Senator.
Yeah, you're too kind, Matt. Appreciate you. Got
so
you mentioned
beautiful.
the Rise custom restock.
Beautiful.
This is a figure. I think Rise Custom, he's great because he and I see eye to eye on a lot of it's kind of the philosophy of kind of being in this space. He saw that this figure, the Sleepy Senator, in her funeral attire, sold out just so quickly.
Yeah.
And he was on a call with a lot of people, a lot in his Discord server. He was talking to people. He was like, yeah, like I didn't make enough. I'm sorry, guys. Whereas another attitude you can have, totally same perspective, is like, oh yeah, heck yeah, like we just made a bag. But he's like, okay, yes we did, but also like there are a lot of people who wanted this figure, couldn't get it, who've been interested in supporting it since the announcements were made. So we want to do right by those people.
Yeah.
So
there needs more
shout out Rice Customs.
Yeah.
Great dude.
Good dude for sure. I've messaged him a few times and he's given me really good. He's someone I would definitely be open to having on the show for sure.
Oh yeah, dude. If you can make that happen, that'd be awesome.
I'll see what I can do. Because the show will have like a little standstill once July hits into like February. It'll be like an episode like once a month, rather than every 2 weeks type thing. Because what's in the works. A few people know. I gotta hunker down for a minute.
Lock in.
Exactly. Wes, he says the bot detection is a nice feature. I agree.
Yep.
I had to start that because that was really cool. Because you're the only person I know of that does that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a bit of an arms race, but yeah, there's like I said, there's stuff that I'm learning every time. And one time I saw that there's clearly these orders weren't being placed by a human being. This is someone who's not a good actor. And I need to actually be aware of, like, this is the first time I encountered it. It kind of ruined one of the drops. This was last year. And so, yeah, so having that experience, getting better from it, it's been very instructive.
And let's see. Okay. So this one's from Buckets. He says, for Tom, what's your favorite customs maker? As in, who makes the best figures in your opinion? That's such a hard question to answer because I feel like I
can't answer that, man.
Like
they're all great. They every single one. And this is something that's amazing to me too. Is like, for a while the only brand I would sell was GCC. Their specialty. It's like clones.
It's their bread and butter.
It's in the name, Grandpa Clone Customs.
Mm-hmm.
They made this Vaughn, which mogs the heck out of this one.
Yeah.
Sure. Every the Vaughn we deserve. And so so for me, like, custom clones was the only kind of custom. And then but fast forward, and now there's a huge growth opportunity in like non-clones. I think there's definitely a serious like clone to non-clone pipeline in customs. Is like something I experienced. I think something that's like a general trend. It's like the first custom they buy is a clone. Not all cases, but often, because you see that with the official figures. Like, clones get a lot of interest, whereas the other characters will get some interest, but not as much as and consistently as clones. And so, but then once you're kind of hooked, it's like, oh wow, like, customs are awesome.
Yeah,
you can do, if you can do, if you can do this.
Yeah, is that the year of the snake?
It's the year of the snake. This one's cool. He's got like gold kind of details on him, and he's got a snake design on his chest that says 2025. So shout out Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
So if you can do that, like, you do that, you can also do, It's got to have, your clone's got to have their leader.
Yeah.
You can do Pocket Masters in the chat. Oh, he'll see it on the replay. You can do that,
Yep.
So, yeah, basically, I just showed you like a bunch of different brands. I showed you GCC. I showed you BrickDaddy minifigures. I showed you, Rice Customs.
Yep.
I showed you just this last one. This was another Rice Customs fig. It's like everyone brings a different thing to the table. All have even though everyone is trying to make figures that look good next to your official ones. Everyone brings their own kind of twists, bring their own interests.
Yeah.
That I think it's a really great thing to have everything come together like an ensemble. To really have a beautiful, harmonious collection. So
yeah, and kind of like I agree with that 110%. I don't even have a favorite customs producer because they each do something so different from one another that makes them stand out, but yet it's like that line James Franco says in Interview: different but same. It's like they do it all perfectly. Oh, that's one I'm upset I missed. That I was like, that came out around the same time as like the Death Trooper upgrade pack. I'm like, oh,
shout out Quiet Brick House. I think he's in the chat if that's the same Quiet.
Is it? If it is Quiet, would love to have you on.
Yeah.
Definitely. It is. I would. If there's any way I could get you on the show, let me know. I would be honored to do so.
What else does Quiet have? Oh yeah, and he's. You might also know him for his skeleton clone.
That's so cool. It's so darn neat.
Yeah. It's like the kind of thing that like I didn't realize I wanted until I saw it. It's like, oh man, Halloween clone. I needed it. Didn't realize I needed it, but now I do. Clone Switch win. Oh, what's up? What's up, Nikki? How you doing?
Oh man, a lot of legends popping in the chat.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude.
To see a legendary man.
Oh,
that's great. And this another question from Gage. Tom pretty much answered it earlier, but I think we can a little bit reiterate for the fresh boys that are popping in the chat who have not been here the whole time. I think we can give them a little reminder. He's saying, for Tom, another question. Do you have any influence on LC's drop quantity? And if so, has LC worked with you to increase these quantities? They sure worked a lot better with the last drop. Yeah.
Very true. Very true. The increased quantities was great for everyone. I think, ultimately suppliers, they make their own decisions. So I'm in an advisory role, but I don't try to intervene too much with what they're doing because they're creatively, that's where it is with these suppliers. Like they have all the ideas, like they're coming up with stuff that I wouldn't even think of. Like this, like we go back to that, or I wouldn't be able to make that. They're the ones who make it, so I'm just gonna let them cook. But in terms of the business side of things, quantities, like I can say, okay, like this is how this is gonna go. This is gonna sell out super fast. You need to make more, and I can like share some information about kind of analytics, number of people visiting the site, sell-through rate of things. This is how we can know how many people were interested in the last release. This can inform us how many we're going to release next time. And I think, kind of this data-driven approach that you hear about in business a lot has helped a number of brands.
That's good. So the next question is from Tony Underminer. Oh, this one's okay for me. Do I plan on interviewing any of the big members of the community? Would Tom recommend someone for you to interview? Oh, okay. Who would you recommend me to interview, Tom?
Like anyone who's willing to talk. I mean, there's a lot of great people. You mentioned Rice. Melnik would be cool to have on. But it's up to them.
Yeah. up
There's
to
a
the
lot
discussion.
of great people to pick.
Yeah, I mean, I can give a top 3 of like people I'd love to definitely have on. You know, would love to have the ACOB boys. Wink, wink, might be coming soon, sooner than you think. One's in the chat right now, Quiet. He's definitely top 3. Really look up to what they're doing. And then, of course, Melnik. Melnik has led to production and designs of all my favorite like Star Wars characters into Fig designs. So it'd be, for me with the background in art, and I love creating art, it'd be nice to talk to someone who does a lot of that design work. So he's definitely on that list. But honestly, anyone that would give me the opportunity. I'm not here just to interview big names personally, because I'm not a big name by any means. I'm just I'm a simple man, just kind of doing this for fun. So whoever wants to be, on the show, reach out to me. And I think this would be a nice time. We're working out a few kinks, but we are going to be launching a Discord server here this week. So
Flames.
It's Tom's already in there. He's seen it being born. I think you can definitely say within this week alone, it's definitely had a renovation where it was just a few days ago.
Yeah, I saw that I was able to post in certain channels that didn't seem appropriate that I'd be able to post in. So
yeah, so it's definitely going to be launching here within the next 24 or 48 hours. So definitely. Keep your eye out on there, and it'll be on the socials. It'll be on the community tab. And in there's actually a submission form where you can, be like, hey, I would like to see you have this person on the Brick Connection. Then, I could reach out, and then if we get enough kind of like shouts for it, and who knows, maybe we could make it happen. It doesn't even have to be the Lego Star Wars community. It could be someone who does Lego Dreams, it could be whoever.
Where my friends fans at?
Yeah, the friends, the Lego Wednesday, Jurassic Park, whatever it is. Because this show's about just taking every aspect of the community and just kind of bringing it together, even if it's for a few minutes. That's my thing. And this one's from Devil Donut 98. He says, I don't have a question but want Tom to know he's been an absolute #1 quality reseller in terms of customer care, and we are so blessed to have someone so consistent in this golden era customs. And I think I can agree with that.
Appreciate you, man. Yeah, it's the whole reason I do it.
And just so you guys, I did reach out to Mayday Figs. He said he's down, but he's just never gotten back to us. So if you guys have the channels, use the voice, give the people what they want. Printer's here as well.
Shout out Printer Toner.
Yep.
He's got some good stuff in the pipeline.
Oh yeah.
For his Geo Padme.
I'm so excited for, he said he was going to do it at Brickworld, and I'm like, come on. I'm excited to know the deets so I can be there to grab type thing. That'd be cool.
We got Saturday release on that. He's releasing on Saturday. There's a guy in the EU. He's going to be releasing at a later date. I think he'll be opening up pre-orders on that.
Okay.
And then I will have some quantity sometime later. Right now, priority is shipping out existing orders, but I will have that to sell soon.
That's good. Quiet. What do you think of the Melnik blasters? I love them.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I'm waiting for the restock on them so I can get every single one of dude. Pause. That's just great.
So compare that to
unmatched, dude.
Yeah, is another thing that was like I didn't realize I needed until I saw it. Yeah, there's just so many creative people coming up with amazing things, like custom blasters, but with the same design philosophy as harmonizing with official.
That's what I love so much.
because it's like every official blaster has like kind of like this kind of rectangular housing, the simple tubes, but you can tell very clearly that this is Rex's blaster. That is appropriate for him, but it's not over details that it seems maybe a little out of place. But if the highly detailed is your cup of tea, go for it. Get all the brick arms and the brick tactile, a lot of great things. But this is a filling out a new niche that just wasn't there before.
Yeah, it had me, once Melnik was dropping those, I mean, went through and sold all my brick arms and that stuff because I don't like the hyper realistic style. I like you said, the Lego design philosophy is what makes me tick. So that's just me personally. Let's see. Someone asked okay. This viewer is wondering, what brand are you looking to stock next?
I'll let them decide. I'm not gonna put anyone on blast. Yeah. So
good. I like that idea, that mindset. Keep things secret until the big reveal.
Yeah, I want to.
There's not enough of that.
Yeah, but I'll put it like this: I am always looking to expand the catalog. A lot of great stuff out there. And grateful to all the brands who already work with me. And then,
I would definitely say. Well, that seems to be kind of the. Quiet's gonna be a Brick World.
Oh, shout out Quiet. Nice.
Okay, Quiet. If you're down, we could do an episode live at Brick World. If you're down, that'd be so cool. Only if you're down, that'd be absolutely flames, as the kids would be saying. I got a new phone the other day, and the guy, he reminds me of what's his name? He used to do the Man vs. Food. Fred Richmond or Fred. Oh, what was it? But he gave me that guy's vibes at the Spectrum store. And I was like, hey, I'm looking for this phone. Do you have it in this color? He goes, flames, dude. I'm like, okay, but do you have it? He goes, flames. I'm like, okay, dude, you're saying flames. Do you have the product? He just went back there and grabbed it. He goes, flames. I'm like, this dude's my hero.
Oh my gosh.
Love him. But okay, Quiet says 100%. So, heck.
Yeah, Buckets has a question.
Where is which is your favorite GCC figure? What's yours, Tom?
Well, I know yours is Simple Man. I mean, if that counts as GCC, it is GCC printed.
Yep. Are we going off of like what's been available on their site? Oh, that's some. Tom just bringing out all the heat tonight. That's such a great fig.
This is the hologram trooper, also known as Holoclone. He is great. Such a cool concept. You imagine him on a table, saying, we're, being overrun, and then, fizzling out and screaming. And it's just like, it just shows you how out there customs can get, and still like,
still
create something new. I like to think maybe it's a little, maybe the analogy can only go so far, but I think customs are to figures as to mocks are to sets. It's like, it's a different creative outlet. Use what you have to create something new, even though, a lot of this stuff requires special, materials, special, machinery to make. There is, let's see if I can pull this guy up. You can still like take, a piece from this manufacturer to make, to add arms to this character who has an official body, but he's got, a helmet from a different brand. You can kind of mix and match to make your own custom. And I want to pull this one because this is among my favorite. There was a question earlier of top 5, and I want to make sure I can pull this out. Let's just show you, just to demonstrate what I'm talking about. I'm just going to dump this one out because I got to find this guy. Oh, here we go. Okay. Is this it? Or maybe it's a different one. Okay. All right. This is peak. Okay. So here we have.
Oh, Wilco.
Very good. I don't have. There's a certain hairpiece I like to put on him with a buzz cut in the flat top.
Yeah. Oh, is it the Simple Man hair?
No.
Oh, it's the one that came on the New Republic pilot.
No. It's on my website. It's called Clone Hair Military.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
but we could we just put this one on him for now, just to demonstrate, just to be an example. So here we have, Wilco, and what we gave him is the GCC helmet. This was just a standalone helmet made by in collaboration. Basically they just took their trooper design and printed it on an official blank helmet. Usually when you see reg helmets like this, they're replica, but this is on an official helmet, so it's a really nice piece to have. And then a GCC torso, pauldron, and then Crosshair Bricks made the accurate arm on him, where the cool link is blacked out.
Oh, that's solid.
So that's like the one other kind of unique feature to Wilco. And yeah, so it's just an example. You could take, pieces from other brands, mix and match, put them together to give you like the perfect version of the figure. You see that a lot. It's really, really awesome to see, like a custom fig bash.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
But I guess if I had to pick my favorite from GCC, as say if like on their site, not like the exclusive or like the special box packaging figs, just the basic that they do. I would say that's
a lot of good ones.
I got it. Mr. Hauser.
Oh, sweet.
I would say Howsy.
How's he doing?
He's living like Larry today. But
I'd love to see a Bad Batch version of him.
Yeah, with the thinner striped helmet.
Yeah, with the kind of ammo pouches on his chest.
Yep.
Goes so hard.
It does. I'm a sucker for a good chest rig because somebody lost the floor. Big guy for chest rigs.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Tactical.
Yep. I like seeing my favorite dudes in Star Wars. Kitted out. That's cool to me. So we're locked in for the final 3 questions. Just because of the fact, here in 15 we have to go do another show, which I'm very excited to do. And I'm sure you guys want to tag along. It's some Brick World hype.
Oh yeah.
But I can confidently say this won't be our last episode with Tom the Builder. I would definitely say I'm down for a round 2 sometime in the future.
Me too, man. Yeah, let me know.
For sure.
Yeah.
So my question for you, it's my final one, then we'll go through the last 2 here. What's something you want to see GCC make?
Okay. All right. This is it. This is it. GCC needs to make Phase 1 clones. They are already best clone makers in the game. Like no one is. They're the Kaminoans, man.
Yeah.
They just what they offer, widest variety. But the community's been asking GCC make phase one, make phase one, make phase one. So I'm just gonna add my voice to that chorus. Say, yeah, GCC, we want P1 clones ASAP because there's huge opportunity there. Think of like, well, and this is actually something Millennium Studio is another brand I work with. They do. They have the phase one clones. But they're one manufacturer. Each manufacturer can fill out a certain niche or fill out or like make these characters while the other manufacturer makes those characters. And so they've only dipped the toes in the water related to the amount of potential out there. They've done the ranked colors with like the sergeant, lieutenant, etc. They've done Keeley, they've done Fox. But yeah, if GCC made like a in their style, Captain Rex, that would be amazing.
Fives, Echo, Wolf, Cody, Waxer,
everything.
Boyle.
Everything is still out there and still uncharted territory. So yeah, that's what I want.
I agree, and we'll get buckets. I'm not sure if you want to answer this, Tom. You're more than happy to do so. He's asking for Tom, do you have a job other than reselling, which I guess can be counted? If not, does your wife have a job? Just curious.
Well, this is my primary occupation right now. I'm a software engineer by trade, but this is what I've decided to do, and I love it. And yeah, we're busy people. My wife works too. So we kind of, and so this is one thing that's why I like it so much is it's I'm able to balance this and family life a lot better, especially if we're both working and we have kids. So, which is, kind of, a rare luxury. I'm very, very grateful to this community for. Yeah.
And our very last question. Are you ready for it?
Yes, sir.
It's from Jumbo Wumbo. Tom, do you still buy customs outside of the brands you sell?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's been difficult because like I'm like so focused on like when my drops are and like preparing for those. That's like sometimes the drop will happen. I'm like, oh shoot, I missed that. Yeah. And it's funny, some brands I've started just like collecting myself. Then I start working with them, and then that makes it a lot easier. So, yeah,
I agree. Well, Mr. Tom, thank you for. I can definitely say this now. This has been, we've hit, we've broken every record tonight. Our highest, we just broke it now. Our highest congruent viewership has been 60.
Oh my gosh,
that's
dude.
Insane.
Wow, yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing, dude. Congrats.
Stickler, send it one more time. We can get in there. I did not mean to. I apologize.
We'll squeeze it in.
We'll squeeze it in.
My boy has to get to Brick Dynasty right after this.
Yep.
We'll squeeze it in. Let's make
Absolutely.
it
Yep.
happen.
And just Tom, thank you for being the person you are in this community and constantly being a source for a lot of us to have enjoyment of products that we've seen in the design process. The little snippets, the stories, the post. And allowing us to have this in our hands and being that source for it. And thank you for being a friend. And if you guys want to communicate more with Tom, like I said, keep an eye out on the socials, and you'll see the Planet Ostiff Discord be launched here within the day. So we're fine tuning some things, making sure the bots are working, that fun stuff. And Stickler's question was, do you like UV printed or only pad?
Mainly pad. I will dabble in the occasional UV because there's stuff that you can only get in UV. And so, certain faces, certain torso designs. Yeah. But I wanted to say, Ostiff, thanks so much for having me. Like Absolutely. What you're doing here is something awesome. Something I've really enjoyed watching, putting on at night, listening to the replay while I'm packing orders. I got to catch the Padawan episode, but what you're doing here is something really, really good for the community. Bringing people together, sitting down with them, being able to share and learn more. It's just fosters just a much more positive environment when people might be a little bit more like, oh, you're against me, like I'm like, you're in my way to get this figure. It's like, no, we all enjoy the same things.
Mhm.
We're all just big fans, and so just be able to sit down and share that with like-minded people has been such a pleasure.
Dude, Tom, thank you for the kind words. That I just see myself as just a simple man, just trying to make my way through this YouTube algorithm. That's the best way I can put it. And you stated what the mission is. It's just to bring all these aspects of the community so we can all be on the same level rather than against each other. I don't know why, but Coop saying that you have a voice for radio on the face for the runway. I'm not sure if he's talking about. I think he might be talking about both of us. Yeah. But and all 60 of you here, thank you for coming, donating almost 2 hours of your time. And you guys carried me over the 150 mark, which was crazy. We only had like 136 subs as the show started, and it's just been nuts.
Nice.
Just thank you.
It's only going to get more from here, man. You're onto something. This is great.
We'll be doing a few episodes live from the Renaissance of Schaumburg, and tune in Friday for another episode with Tree Squadron, because we're going to be first boots on the ground of Chicago.
Oh man, I can't wait to see what he made. He's got the coolest Umbara arc I've ever seen, or Umbara mock. So that's another thing I'm looking forward to, seeing that thing in person.
Yeah, and so with that being said, I'm gonna put the link to Brick Dynasty show here in the chat. So if you guys need something to do, hop on over, and there's some more fun to be had there. But until then, Tom, thank you again. Everyone that's been present throughout the show, thank you. Everyone who soliciting post this is happening, thanks for listening. And stay tuned for the Discord, and we can always continue these chats there. Until then, we'll see you.